there. We're here at last. It's Monday morning. We're so glad you found us. We're so glad we found each other. We've been struggling a little bit, the way sometimes we do with Google Hangouts. So I apologize for the late start. For those of you who have been sitting there with bated breath, wondering where the heck we are now here. So our special guest today is Debbie Adair, and she's going to be talking to us about how live presentations can help you grow your business, or maybe they can't. I'm thinking that she's going to say they can, but I don't quite know what she's going to say, because she's actually Linda's best guest, and I don't know Debbie very well at all. So, Linda, why don't you take over the introductions, and then Debbie and you can dive in, and of course I will as well when I have something really pithy to say. Linda, unmute and say hi.
Sarah, I'm not. Oops. Tell her I can't unmute Sarah.
Sarah, I don't think she can unmute.
Yeah, I heard that. So you are live.
So it's you and me, Sarah.
Excuse me?
It's me and you.
I can hear Linda.
All right, I'm just talking from across the room, so.
Okay, well, that's fine. Keep doing it. It's loud enough. See, Linda and Debbie are sharing a room, and that's part of why we've had challenges, because it's pretty tough to do a hangout sitting next to somebody else who's on the same hangout. The computers go nuts. Anyway, Linda, we can hear you, and feel free to introduce Debbie, and then maybe you'll put in your lower third when you get a minute.
All right. Well, good morning, Sarah. Good morning, everyone. Debbie Hoffman-Adair is an incredible entrepreneur, an incredible visionary, and she just has the most exciting life right now.
Yes, I do.
She's going to tell us a little bit about it, but I think for all the entrepreneurs who are stuck in a rut, you know, Debbie is just a wealth of information. So it's driving me crazy talking across the room. Debbie, I'm just going to turn it over to you. Tell us very briefly about what you just went through in the past 4 months, and how we can get into the topic and how it can help other people to promote their business.
Okay, well, maybe I should just start by saying I've been an entrepreneur since I was 20 years old, which was many moons ago, just so you know. And I started a promotional products company. Fast forward. For the past 25 years, I've been a motivational speaker. And 4 months ago, my husband and I did something really crazy. We sold our house, and we moved into a RV, which is a renovated van that my husband did. And we've been traveling across the country, enjoying ourselves, but also doing some presentations all around the eastern side anyway. And we are having a blast. And we're meeting people, and we're talking about new ideas. And it's the best thing that I could have done.
Fabulous. So does that mean that it's going well in terms of business for you? Because I know that that's kind of what we're hoping.
Well, first of all, I've been working very hard for a long time, and so I took the first 2 months to sort of rest and just to enjoy myself and have a vacation, because that's something, as an entrepreneur, I'm always working, even weekends or whatever. Even if I think I'm having a day off, I'm always working. So by taking the couple of months to just do nothing, that has been clearly a great business decision, because now I'm back and I'm full of ideas and energy. And so, yes, has my business increased? Of course. But it wouldn't have, I did take that time off, so there you go.
Mm-hmm. So then why don't you tell us a little bit, if you've got like a story of how that has happened for you, in terms of you arrive in a new town, you must have sent out feelers ahead of time to find people that would be willing to get together to listen to your presentations or something. Otherwise, you know, do you flag them down on the street? I doubt it. And then what are you presenting about?
Well, I have a group called In the Presence of Positive Women, of which Linda is a major part of this. I could not do it without her. And I happen to know people all over the country. So no, I'm not just going on a street corner saying, hey, can you listen to me? I know people, and so I've set ahead that they know I'm coming. And we started doing some women's retreats, and we're doing different, just a lot of them might be small gigs, just to get to know people. And it's building up to when we start the full force going across the country, which will be in July. We'll start doing motivation-a-thons all all across the country. And a motivation-a-thon is, we just did one Saturday here in New Hampshire, but that was already pre-done. And I've done a motivation-a-thon, which is where I gather other speakers together and we motivate the world and we raise money for different nonprofits. But the official launch of the one that's going around the country will be in July, and we will start in Billings, Montana.
So in July, if you live in Billings, you want to be looking for this, I'm assuming.
We don't have our location exact yet, so or I would announce it, but I always tell people, send me your email, I'll put you on my mailing list, and then you'll know.
So, go ahead, Linda.
Debbie, can you tell us a little bit about the people who participate in a motivation-a-thon and what do they get out of it?
Well, a motivation-a-thon, I only have professional speakers come and speak. I am the taskmaster, if you will, that I only have people on my platform that I've heard, that I think are wonderful, and their job is to help people. The people that come in the audience, I always feel, are the people that just need to hear some motivational speaking. And so that's the only criteria it is. It has to be motivational. In other words, it's not specifically about business. It's not specifically about selling products or anything like that. It is to motivate people to see new perspectives, to see what other people have gone through, and that they can go through it and thrive too. So the only people that are on my platform are professional speakers or people that I know give lots of presentations. How's that? I don't just take anybody off the street. I don't take just a Toastmaster. Not that that's just a Toastmaster, but they have had to give some professional speeches, long speeches.
So many of our business audience here are entrepreneurs, work from home, they run their own business. How can they, not being professional speakers, make money speaking?
Well, let's back up and say that a lot of people come to me and they want to be a motivational speaker. And I say, great! However, being a motivational speaker alone is one of the hardest jobs out there. I mean, I've been doing it for 25 years. And I know it's really hard to get the gigs, to get people to pay you to speak. But what it isn't that hard to do is to get the gigs where like a free speech isn't that hard to get, and where you can show off your products. So the idea of this topic today came from, again, people asking me, how do I be a motivational speaker? And I turn around and say, why don't you just be who you are, and let me show you how to take a presentation and make money from it that way. Let's just say you are a coach. Well, let me show you how to do a presentation, and you're not getting paid to do the presentation, but you are going to gain clients because they see you in action. So that's where the money comes from. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. So anybody with any kind of a business, can reach out, I'm assuming, to like Chamber of Commerce meetings or BNI meetings, any kind of meeting that might be out there that needs a speaker. And you can talk about your area of expertise, and they see you in action, and for those in the audience that need that kind of service, they're going to want to hire you. Is that
Well, let me give you an example, because this is if let's say you sold appliances, and you're Joe the appliance guy. Okay, I actually saw a guy that was doing appliances, and he didn't have to sell me on a dishwasher, but what he did was he told me 5 ways that I could keep a dishwasher healthy for the life of the dishwasher. So he gave me some tips about dishwashers, just in general, not about his particular brand. And I was so excited about what he said, because there were actionable items that I could do that when I am ready to buy a dishwasher, I am going to go to that man. Because he didn't try to sell me, he gave me the information. So I always think if people would give me information, that bonds you to that particular business person. And I don't think there's a business out there that cannot do that. In other words, let's say you were a funeral home director or whatever you can think of. If you give me information on the ways that I could save money at burials or whatever the thing is, then whenever I need your services, I'm already bonded to you. So I'm going to go to somebody that I know and I trust, and I know that they're not trying to take advantage of me. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense, and I'm wondering if you can tell our audience, how to get started then. What would be the first step?
Right. Well, there's lots of places that could use a speaker. Not just BNI, you probably have to be a member of that BNI. And Chamber of Commerce is not necessarily the place for you to speak, and I'll tell you why. Because everybody and their uncle wants to speak there. I used to work at Chamber of Commerce, so I know. But there's a lot of different organizations that need speakers on a monthly or weekly. Think about Rotaries, think about Kiwanis Club, Zonta, Business and Professional Women. Any one of the service organizations that has meetings always needs a speaker. So if you, let's just say, let's pick Kiwanis. I used to be a Kiwanian. I used to be the program chair. And you had a program about, if you were a coach, let's say you're a coach, 5 things to know about how to hire a coach. That's a great topic that everybody could glean information. So we're not saying that you're out there selling your services as a coach. We're saying you're giving information about what a good coach, how to pick a good coach. Well, you're going to speak to a Kiwanis audience. At that time, there was like 50 people that would come to a meeting every single week. We needed to get a speaker. And if you gave me 5 tips on how to pick a coach, I'm a happy camper because I didn't even know I needed a coach. And now you're giving me those tips. And once I figure out that maybe I do need a coach, who am I bonded with? You, because you already came in and you've talked to the organization. So the number 1 tip about doing presentations as a business person is actually don't try to sell yourself. Try to give the information so that becomes the bondedness of the person that's in the audience.
So I would like you to back up if you're willing, because researching the different audiences to me sounds like a second step, or even a third maybe. That the first would be writing your presentation or developing a presentation.
Absolutely.
That may be something that our audience is like, I don't know how to, I don't know how to stand up in front of a group and speak. But it sounds like you've given us at least one automatic title, 5 ways to do blah, blah, blah. And whatever your subject is, you can just fill in the blank there. But how can somebody who's never maybe presented in a group develop a talk, let's say half hour? I don't know what that they feel good about, that help them with their nerves. What would you recommend for that?
Well, Toastmasters has got to be the place. I went to Toastmasters about 28 years ago. I had made presentations. I had a promotional products company at the time, and I started making presentations about how to choose the right promotional product for you. They were very successful where I got a lot of business out of those presentations. But the other part was I was terrified of doing the presentations, and I didn't think I was doing a good job. I mean, I was okay, but I joined Toastmasters, which is an international organization. You can find a Toastmaster just about any place in the world to join an org. It's toastmasters.org, just so you know. And there it's going to help you practice little speeches, 5 to 7 minutes, and get good and comfortable about how to put a story together, how to get rid of the nerves, how to open a speech, how to close a speech, all the little things. I think Toastmasters is the most wonderful thing. I'm still a member. I speak on the big platforms. I don't really need to go to Toastmasters, but I love it, and it's a place that I can still practice all my little vignettes and things like that. So number 1 thing, I'd go to Toastmasters.
And if somebody, God forbid, does not have Toastmasters, is there a book or any other resource online maybe that you would recommend, or not?
There's all sorts of books on speaking. I mean, there's about TED Talk. Watch the TED Talks. Okay. TED Talks is a great place to just watch what they're doing. And I always say to this, when I have clients that come in and I teach them how to speak, and I'm not trying to sell my services, but this is the one thing I always tell them. I say, go to as many presentations as you possibly can and watch the speaker. I don't care what that topic is. I want you to go in and watch that speaker and then answer these questions. Did you like that speaker? Yes or no? If it's yes, what were they doing that you liked so much so that you could put it in your presentations, that style? And if you didn't like it, why didn't you like it? so that you make sure you don't do that. So that's where I would go. I would start watching people, watching what they're doing. Doesn't matter the topic, remember, because you're watching how they're going about creating their program. And then you go back and you create your own.
Okay, thank you. So I realize I hijacked you, and maybe there was a different direction you wanted to go in. We have 10 or so minutes left. So what I have so far is, start by watching other speakers, or perhaps join a a Toastmasters, and then research the different groups in your area that might need a little speaker, and approach them with 5 things to do about whatever. What would be next, or what would you add to all that?
Well, first of all, if you're a business that is, my business, I'm all over the country, so I don't have any one spot that I'm trying to market to. But let's say you have a business that you are, go back to the appliances. You want people to come into your store, so I would draw a circle around 25 miles around from where I am, and then I would find out all of the different service organizations that are out there and target those places to speak. Even if you spoke at the Kiwanis Club in Concord, New Hampshire, you can speak to the Rotary Club. You just want to keep getting the words out. That's how I would go about it. And as you do your presentations, remember you have to claim to be the expert at something. So, and by the way, when I first started in speaking, I remember this. Somebody said that if you thought about something for 5 minutes, or learn something 5 minutes every day for 2 years, you'd become a world-renowned expert at that. And I remember thinking, whoa, that's kind of, all right, just 5 minutes a day, that's all? And that's true. So now that I am on the road all the time, I chose something else that I want to be an expert at. And I personally want to become an expert at yurts. So yurts, because I want to build a yurt, but I figured I better know a little bit of something, and I'll be gone for two years on this thing. So every 5 minutes a day, I do something about yurts, and you know what? That's true. I am learning. By the time of 2 years, boy, I'm going to be an expert on yurts. So now going back to business people, whatever it is that, like, again, if you're going to the appliance store, I want to be an expert at washer and dryers, like why things work better and stuff like that. Just figure out what you can be the expert in and become that expert. Become the expert on whatever it is you're selling, whatever it is part of your business. And then start practicing. Go out there and you'll be amazed at what people really need this information. Go, think about it as always information. When I started speaking, I was an information speaker. Then people started calling me a motivational speaker, and I'm like, no, I'm an information speaker. But golly gosh, the universe is shining upon me, and if you listen, the universe will always tell you where to go. So people are saying I was a motivational speaker, so heck, I became a motivational speaker. There you go.
So Debbie, a lot of our audience are work-from-home entrepreneurs, and they might be involved in things like multi-level marketing.
Uh-huh.
Can you talk a little bit about how they can take an MLM business and not be salesy pushing the business, but getting the word out there?
Well, every MLM has, not every, but they mostly focus on one thing. Let's just start with Tupperware, because everybody knows Tupperware. Tupperware, it's been around forever, so people think they know it all, but I want somebody that becomes an expert at other things that I can do with my Tupperware, like the newest products or something. I don't need you to sell me, because if I want something, I'll buy it. But if you show me new ways that I could store stuff, or maybe I could take my Tupperware to be organized more, or whatever, give me some new things that I could do to learn, become an expert at that piece, and you're going to get more clients. So no matter what your MLS is, or whatever the thing is, I'm so good at that piece, train me, tell me about it. If you do health products, tell me why I need it. Like, why would I need, what makes this particular product work better than others? But be more, I think I want you to be more general, because nobody likes people selling them. Nobody likes to be sold. People like to buy, but they don't like to be sold. So if you're giving me general information about my health care, or how does my liver work, tell me that piece. Oh, and you happen to have a great liver detoxer. Oh, okay, now I get the, why I would need it. Now I can talk to you about your product. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So once again, we are running out of time like we always do on Money Momentum. And I wanted to say, when you were talking about these groups that need to find speakers, that need, weekly, they have to find somebody, I'm like, that's me. It's not just in a meeting in person. It could be online. So for those of you out there who are looking for a place to speak, you can also do that. And that's, the potential of the audience is worldwide at that point. But is there anything else, in terms of your journey and what you're doing now that you have learned by doing this that really underscores the power of speaking in groups and hooking up with different individuals? I'm thinking that at least part of this is it's face-to-face, maybe face-to-group, but you're real, you're in the room, you're not this person that's somewhere else. Is that impacting things for you?
Oh, yeah. See, I love people. I just love people, and I like to meet them and talk to them about what they're doing. It's rare that I try to sell myself, unless I know I'm perfect for this upcoming conference or something like that. But I don't need to sell myself. What I need to do is to be out there to talk to people, to let them know how what I'm like, and help. I try to help people as much as I can. So if I ever hear of someone that needs a connection, I make connections all over the world, and I don't worry about making the sale. I just worry about talking to people. I am a member. I really am a membership expert in Chamber of Commerce work and in different organizations. And everybody always, how do you get members? It's because I'm never looking for a member. I'm looking for a guest. I'm looking to see the connection for people and bring them someplace, or bring them to meet someone that I think might be helpful. And you know what happens? It always comes backwards. The universe is good. The more I help people, the universe brings it always back to me. Not maybe from the same person, but the universe is always good. And so remember that the universe is always working on your behalf. And if people cannot see the value of coming, let's say they're coming on your show, they don't see that value because you might not have the exact people that they're looking for to connect with. Oh, for goodness sakes, you never know what connection is going to be made by someone else, by someone else, by someone else. So I love being on your show. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This has been fun.
Well, thank you, Debbie. It has been fun, and I appreciate your ability to be nimble and change seats several times, trying to find a way to make it work, which is another entrepreneurial skill. You got to be able to think on the spot and be flexible, and we sure did that this morning. So, how can people reach you if they want to know more about presentations, or hear more about your own experience? Believe it or not, you are not the only person I know who is traveling around the country in an RV doing
I know, there's lots of us.
That in itself is okay, what's that? A movement of some kind that needs to be documented, in my opinion, and explored as how is this happening and why is this happening, and should I be doing it too? Can't now because
we've got 4 months under our belt, and we are having a blast. We're just having so much fun, and it really helped us to be minimalist. So, which is Linda knows my old house. That was hard getting rid of all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, you can reach me. My email is Debbie with a Y, DEBBY @debbieadair.com, or you can go to the website ippw.org, and it has lots of information there on the website. And Linda designed the whole thing. It is gorgeous. The only thing I said to her, Linda, is it's got to be pretty. Well, it's pretty, and it works great. It's fabulous. So go on our website.
Great. Thank you very much. So, Linda, how about you check us out and say goodbye, and anything else you'd like to add for the week? An adventure, I'm sure, just this morning.
Absolutely. But one thing that I want to stress to our viewers here, if you're going to go out and you're actually going to do talks to help grow your business, a couple of things that you want to keep in mind. People are going to be looking at your website. People are going to be looking at your social media. You need to make sure that you get those things beefed up with the right content on there and the messages for the people without being too salesy. The other thing, too, that's so important is when you go out and you speak, have an email permission-based sign-up sheet. Let people hear from you. Subscribe to your newsletter if you happen to have one, or to send out, if you're talking about the tips and appliances, have a tips newsletter that goes out to help stay top of mind with your audience. So speaking is really excellent to get in front of the people to start building it, but continue to nurture that relationship. So Linda Kay, Interactive Synergy and Interactive Conversations, where I help you really grow your marketing, enhance your web presence, enhance your social media, and build that lead generation system for you. Sarah?
Thank you, Linda. And it's too bad her lower third. But yeah, if you need a website or you need a newsletter, Linda can help you. So don't be forgetting that. So fabulous. I'm so excited what we've done today, and I wish we could talk more, but we can't. So you need to let us know what you did with this information and how you enjoyed it. Would you like to have Debbie come back? I know I would. I want to hook up with her live sometime when she's in Montana and see what's going on at that point. But please go to our website, mondaymomentum.com, or mymondaymomentum.com, and let us know what you're doing with this material, what you would like to see next. Like us and love us, and like we've always said, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us grow this, because really what we're trying to do is make sure that all of you who are working from home and chasing a dream, sometimes it gets lonesome, sometimes it's challenging, and we want you to know that we're here cheering you on. We want to give you information that you can use every week, and then we want to kick you in the rear and tell you, okay, now it's time to get going. Do not distract yourself with other things. Just because you're at home doesn't mean you shouldn't be working. So go out there and rock, and then you know how it'll be. You're going to slide into home base on Friday feeling really good about what you did this week. We'll see you next week. We have the entire month of April and May booked with guest speakers, so it's really going to be looking good. So we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us.
Happy Monday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.